There have been emotional scenes at Sydney Airport after the first flight from the Middle East to Australia arrived safely late last night. There were cheers for students from a Sydney college and a round of applause for the aircrew, which helped bring about 200 people from Dubai to Sydney Airport.
Thousands of Australians remain stranded as we go to air this morning, with more than 20,000 flights cancelled across the Middle East due to the conflict. A second commercial flight is expected to leave Abu Dhabi later today. Our reporter Max Tillman is at Sydney Airport for us this morning. Good morning, Max. They were some pretty nice and emotional scenes. Take us through what happened last night.
They were indeed. Tears, cheers and an enormous sense of relief for those who were on board Emirates flights 414 that touched down in Sydney last night at around 10:30 p.m. You have seen those scenes of people being welcomed by their family, by their friends. Obviously, there's been an enormous sense of anxiety for those more than 115,000 Australians who do remain effectively stranded in the Middle East as this conflict continues. Now, as you were saying, Barker College students from Sydney's north were actually on their way to a robotics competition in Turkey when they were meant to be in Dubai only for a brief stopover and have effectively been stranded since. Their principal was here at the arrivals hall of Sydney Airport last night in order to greet those students upon their return. We also saw a number of Australian expats who have returned from Dubai. Some of the messages that we heard from them are things that we've seen reflected by a lot of residents in the Middle East at the moment, particularly those in Dubai who have described hearing missiles and missiles being intercepted directly over their roofs in quite incredibly sort of fearful words as well. But it was an enormous sense of relief that we saw last night when those 200 people departed the plane. In fact, as you heard, such was that relief, in fact, that the Emirates crew themselves and the pilots were applauded when they touched down here at Sydney Airport. Let's take a quick listen to what some people had to tell our crew last night.
It is absolutely good to be home. Especially the actual first flight out of Dubai straight to here was fantastic. So yeah, 2 a.m. was worth it.
My husband's still there. I got like our dogs, our home and stuff's over there. So it's a weird feeling.
Oh, it is nice to see. And Max, when are more flights expected to land?
Well, that is, of course, the big question. There's been more than 20,000 flights that have been cancelled or delayed since the conflict broke out. We understand that the DFAT have effectively sent over 6 teams of diplomats in order to help evacuate and repatriate Australians from the Middle East. What we understand is that an Etihad flight, Etihad 454, is scheduled to arrive in Sydney from Abu Dhabi tomorrow night. And we also have another Etihad flight that is departing Melbourne today, which is due to land in Abu Dhabi tomorrow.